Hello friends, and welcome to another crochet tutorial where I'm going to show you how to make the twisted potato monster. In some of my other potato monster videos, you saw how they were all no-sew. Well, this one is the same. We have our secret way of doing our hands and feet here. And now I'm also going to show you how to add a knot in the center to kind of give it a different look. So let's get started with the materials and tools that we are going to use to make our twisted potato monster. First, I have this brown yarn from Ogo. It's blanket yarn. We will be using a 7mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a stitch marker, tapestry needle, and these are eyes that I purchased off of AliExpress. The size of these eyes are 28 by 38mm. You can purchase these on AliExpress. They come in a bag of 10. For our facial look that I did on my twisted monster here, we will use some black and white. Of course, the color choice can be of your choosing. Before I begin any project, I like to pull an ample amount of yarn out so that we're able to do the first couple of rows without worrying about the tension in the stitches. This is Ogo yarn. It comes out very easily from the center. If you have this where you're at, I encourage you to try it. I really like it. This is blanket yarn. So let's begin. We're going to have a small tail in the beginning. We're going to start with a slip knot. And then chain 8. And 8. Now, you'll notice that you have two sides. Here you have the V side looking. This is the front of the chain. If you flip it over to the back, you'll see these straight lines. These are called humps or bumps, but it's the back side of the chain. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is use the back side of the chain, because when we start on the bottom, we want to make it so that this remains closed tight so that we don't have any open gaps. Sometimes when you pull on one chain and then use the other two, sometimes you can have that little hole. So we're trying to eliminate that. So we don't count the first loop on our hook because that is not a completed one. So here's our first one, here's our second one. So into the second one, find the bump on the back and place one single crochet. I encourage you to use a stitch marker in the process of making this. So add your stitch marker to your first stitch. In the second single crochet will be in the same stitch. Adding 2 single crochets to one stitch is known as an increase. Let's continue down. We're going to add 1 single crochet over the next 5 chains. If your work is starting to curl a little like mine, just grab it and tug it just a little bit. It will be fine. In the very last chain, we're going to be placing 4 single crochets. So to make it so that you don't have any open holes, pick up the bump and we're going to add 2 single crochets. Okay, rotate your work just a little bit, and with the tail and the knot, pull a little towards you, and in the front side of the chain, which is the V portion, we're on our very last one. Here's our slip knot. We're going to add 2 more. So insert your hook and make sure that this yarn is on the left side of the knot. Pull up a loop, continue your or complete your first single crochet and add your second one to the same stitch. So we have 4 going around this curve. Continue down. We're doing 5 single crochets over the next 5 stitches. In our last stitch, we're going to add an increase. Remember, the increase is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Okay, spread it open just a little bit. And this completes our first row. Moving on, we're going to start off with our first stitch, gets the increase. So 2 single crochets in the first stitch. In our next stitch, increase. Five single crochets over the next 5 stitches. Okay, you can see where we're starting with our 4 around the corner. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the next 4 stitches, do 4 increases. That means 2 stitches or 2 single crochets per stitch. Okay, then 5 single crochet. You can see how my Ogo is coming to my attention. Okay, so we should have 2 stitches left before our stitch marker. So we're going to do 2 increases. Increase here and increase here. Okay, and since it is the beginning, we want to make sure everything lays the way it's supposed to. Stretch it out a little bit, and this completes our second row. This row, we're going to be adding our feet. Increase in the first stitch. Increase in the second stitch. 1 single crochet. So now we're going to start our feet. Chain 5, 1, 2. I encourage you to pinch the second chain. 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to make a double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook, and it does not matter where you place your double crochet. So to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the 3rd chain, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over 2 loops on your hook. We're going to do this a total of 5 times, all in the same loop. It will get a little tight, but it'll be okay. So let's do it again. Yarn over through the same loop you did the last double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over through the last 2 loops on your hook. If you notice every once in a while I jerk down, that's to help make sure that my tension and the stitch height is correct. So yarn over, we're making our 3rd one, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Okay, so we got 2 more to do. I know you can do this on your own without me telling the video prompt or the audio prompt. All right, now we're not done yet. We're going to do something I'm sure you're not used to doing. Enlarge your your loop on your hook, and pull your hook out. Everything's fine. It will not fall apart. Come over here to the very first one. Here's your chain stitch. So we want to come over here. Here's your first stitch. Let's insert the hook into that right side of that stitch. Grab your loop and then tighten the loop on your hook, and take that loop and pull it through the top of that stitch. What that's going to do is close it and create like a little ball. Okay, turn our work. We have 2 chains here. Now, when I first came up with this idea, I thought going through the chains would be okay. Sometimes it's a pain in the you-know-what. So we're going to go under those chains, pull up a loop, and tighten. Here's number 1, under, pull up a loop, 2nd single crochet. And here's what our little foot looks like. Okay, so here's where our last single crochet was, so we want to go to the next one. We're going to do 7 single crochets across. I think I hit my camera, sorry. Okay, so now we're going to do the foot again. So chain 5, 1, 2, pinch that second one, 1, 2, 3. Double crochet into that 3rd one, and place 5 total of double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, then enlarge your loop and open up the 5. Come to the first one, which would be on your right side. Insert your hook at the top of that stitch. Bring your loop through, but tighten it up first. Pull it through that top of the stitch. Twist it down. Single crochet 2 times over the chain 2. Find your last single crochet, and in the next stitch, single crochet. We're going to do a total of 16 until we get back here to where our stitch marker is at. So here's 1, 2, 3, continue on until you get to the stitch marker. I'll meet you there. So this row we're going to go above and close off the openings here to our foot. So single crochet into the first stitch, four more. So from our first stitch to where we need to stop is 5 single crochets. All right, we are stopped right here at the beginning. So we want to bring our foot forward, and notice that at the end of the chain you can see where there's a little line and then our first stitch. We want to place our hook inside the top of that stitch and complete a single crochet. See how that comes over the foot? So we go here, this is the chain and the 2 single crochets that went on that chain. So we came from here over to here. It's going to look like a V-stitch almost when we're done. Okay, so here's our first one. We want to add 6 more for a total of 7 before we get to our next foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right here you should see the last single crochet before our foot begins. So we want to bring our foot forward and find that next single crochet. You'll see there's a little hole that'll get closed up when we place our single crochet over it. Here's our little line, you can see that, and our first single crochet. What I find easier is if you take the hook and aim it down and go through there, it seems to pick it up a little bit easier. Okay, so that's 1, 2. Okay, you notice that it's going to start curling up. We're going to do a total of 16. So we've done 2, continue on till we get to our stitch marker with 16 single crochets. Please pause your video. So now that we've gone around, the next 2 rows will be 1 single crochet per stitch around. So you will have 28 stitches on this row. For 2 rows, 28 stitches. 1 and 2. Complete those, and I'll meet you in just a second. Please pause your video. Moving along. Okay, so we're going to do a repeat row here. I'm going to do 2 single crochet and a decrease. So 2 single crochet. Now the decrease is going to go over the next 2 stitches. The ones that I do are called invisible decreases. So what you want to do is you want to pick up the front loop of the first stitch and the front loop of the second stitch. It's going to seem kind of tedious and cumbersome, but once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty easy. Then you're going to put the yarn over your hook and pull it through those 2 loops. And if you have to go one at a time, that's quite all right. You now have 2 loops on your hook, just as if you were doing a single crochet. So yarn over and through the 2 loops. So this is what we call a repeat. We've created single crochet, decrease. So the next one we want to do is the same thing. Single crochet, and the decrease. Okay, I'm going to show you one more time, and then I'm going to encourage you to go on by yourself. Now another thing too is after these decreases, you can usually tell which one is your last one. See how the yarn is pulled up? That front loop is pulled up. This one isn't. If you had a regular stitch in it, it wouldn't be pulled up like this. So you want to go to the next stitch here. So single crochet, and decrease. So I'm going to encourage you to do that till we get to the stitch marker. At the stitch marker, the last 2 stitches will be your decrease. You should have a total of 21, if you count across the top, 21 stitches around. Our next row, we're going to have another repeat. We're going to do 1 single crochet, and then our decrease. Remember to pick up the front loops only. After we complete this row, we will have a total of 14 stitches. So we did our repeat 1 time. Let's do it again. And I know you're enjoying the sound of my squeaky hook. Wish I knew how to not make it squeaky, but my hands are sweating. Okay, so we did our second one. Here's our third one. And I'm going to encourage you to continue around until you get to the stitch marker, remembering that the last 2 stitches right here will be your decrease. Yes, we do have a tiny little hole here, don't we? So, you should have the same amount of stitches that are going to be needed to make it so that we get right here. So let's remove our stitch marker. All right. And if I look at it right, we have 1 and 2. So let's place 2 stitches so that we're in the center for our next step. So enlarge the loop on your hook, and what we're going to do is we're going to stuff the center of our body. The bottom, you want it to be stuffed kind of firm so that it can hold the additional weight of the head and the twist and the arms and everything else. So what I like to do is I like to put mine in and spread it open to the sides. I'll put some more in the center and do that again. This will help define the shape and also help define how we want it to sit. Okay, I still have a hole in the center. I'm going to add some more stuffing. Okay, he's nice and firm. So let's place the loop back on our hook. Now, see if you can push your stuffing down some more. What we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook through the first stitch, twist it around, and insert our hook to the same stitch we just completed. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be closing it this way by picking up the front and the back stitch with our hook and close it off with a single crochet. So yarn over through that back set of stitches and the front set of stitches. Make sure your tension and your loop is at the right height and finish off your single crochet. We're going to go to our second one. Okay, and the second one, draw up a loop, pull through all of them, and finish our single crochet. We're going to end up with a total of 7 single crochets. If you get to the end and you have 6, you might have to double check to make sure you started off your row correctly. If it is correct, just add an extra single crochet at the end, because we do need 7. Okay, so I have 3. Here's number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Okay, and number 7 is going to be these last 2 stitches. All right, so this is what it looks like. Chain 1 and turn your work. Alright, so this first row does not count in our counting. We're going to do 7 single crochets across, chain 1 turn, for a total of 15 rows. 5 rows. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then turn your work. So continue this until you have a total of 15 rows. This will take you a little bit of time, maybe about 5 minutes, or go at your own pace. I'm just guessing on the time. So please pause your video. So let's make sure we have 15 rows. Remember, this first row right here is the one that we closed the bottom of the body with. So we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Our head is going to be circular. So you'll notice up here at the top that you have one side of the chain and the other side, basically the top of your stitches. Okay, you have 7 across. So in the front loop, all right, so we stopped here, so we're going to start on this one right here. Here's our loop, here's our first stitch. We're going to place a single crochet in that first stitch. The second, just the front loop, you're going to have a line on the back side there. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, I'm going to give you heads warnings now. Our head is going to have a lot of things attached to it. We will still be able to tie this, but we're not going to tie it until after we get all the other stuff on there. We're not going to stuff the head, but we got to get all the other stuff on there. So now that we've come here, I'd like for you to lean it forward, twist it around, and place your stitch marker in that first stitch coming back. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to add some arms. So we're going to add an arm on this side, and then we're going to come across here and add an arm, and then start on our regular row. So to make our arms, let's see, we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Here's my little Ogo yarn following me. So as a reminder, pull some yarn out. Okay, come down 3. Don't count the one on the hook. 1, 2, 3. We're going to place 5 double crochets in that stitch or that chain. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, enlarge the loop. Bring it forward. You see how it's curling in? We want it to curl the other way, so we have the nice looking side of the stitches looking at us. Okay, here's the chain on the right side. Here's the post. So right there at the top on the right, bring your loop up, tighten your loop, and pull it through. Make sure your chain did not twist. You know, it could have done this number. We don't want that. We want a straight line right here. Come down here. We're going to place a single crochet around the chain. Only on this one. Okay, and slide it down. Okay, and come back here. We're going to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think I slid it down a little too much. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we got 6, so let's add 6. Place 6 single crochets. If you got 5, that's okay. This is a monster. It could be any length you want it to be. You notice I'm not going through the back hump. I'm just coming down, picking up one part of the chain. Sometimes working chains, no matter what the yarn, can be kind of difficult. Okay, now, you see how we marked the first back stitch? This is so that we can find it, to make sure that we are going to be going in the right direction. Now, let's see. This is our single crochet. So you see this line right here? We're going to come down here. I marked the wrong one, didn't I? Okay, so 1 single crochet. We're going to do 7 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now let's mark the first one of the row. Whoops, sorry I hit my camera. You know I use a GoPro because it gives good up close. I think my camera's, if you spread your hand apart, it's about that far from my work. Alright, so before we finish this row, we're going to make another arm. Chain 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come down to the third chain. Make sure that your chain is straight. Let's see, I lost place. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do 5 double crochets in that first stitch. And here comes my Ogo yarn. It always wants to be so close to me. But like I said, there's no yarn barf, so I'm okay with that. Thank you, Ogo, for patent pending this. I really like it. But when you're doing a video, it likes to talk to you. Okay, so I want to do 3 more for a total of 5. Okay, there's 3, 4. Let's go here to our 5th one. Okay, enlarged our loop and stretch this out a little. Now this is the last one of these that we're going to be doing, so you can go, oh, thank you. They're not that hard. It's just, it's a little difference in what we're used to doing for amigurumi. Okay, so we're going to go around. The first single crochet goes around the chain. Okay, I did 6 on my other one, but it looks like this one might be a little different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, looks like we got 6 again. So I'm going to place 6 single crochets down this. For some reason, it wants to be difficult. Well, while I'm trying to figure this out, I might have twisted it. No, I don't think I did. Go ahead and place 6 single crochets. If you did 5, place 5, and I'll meet you when I get to the bottom. Sometimes the yarn just doesn't want to play right with me, does it? Please pause your video. Well, it took a little finagling, but I got it. Yay! All right, so our next row on our head, we're going to take out our stitch marker, place 1 single crochet in that first stitch. Whoops. But make sure your yarn is back where it's supposed to be. Remember to replace your stitch marker. And in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So the increase is 2 single crochets. Okay. 1 single crochet, increase. I'm going to walk with you around this one because we will, whoops, I'm supposed to go through both stitches. Because we will be going over these hands, and I want to make sure you get them right. Did I mess up? I sure did, didn't I? I kept thinking I was going to do a decrease. So, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. 1 single crochet. Okay, now we're going to go over our hands to the other side, double check. Here's our first single crochet on the other side. Okay, so this is an increase. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Single crochet, increase. Now when we get to the end of the row, okay, here's our last increase. Okay, the beginning of the next row is over here. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be doing a single crochet. Remember to replace your stitch marker. Alright, so if you count your stitches around, you should have 21 stitches. So for the next 3 rows, we're going to do 21 stitches per row, and I'll meet you when we get there. Let me show you what you're going to have. You're going to have, okay, so here's the arms, 1, 2, 3, and then on the next row we will start adding our curly twists here. Okay, so 3 rows, please pause your video. We are almost done with our crocheting. So before you remove your stitch marker, chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to hang it, or you can just do it on your table, and you can count your twists. Do not move your hook, just take it and twist it. I'm not really counting it, I'm just twisting it. So that way when you bring it together, it'll curl itself up. So we need some more twists. So if you bring it together, you see how it twists? All right, and then into our first stitch, a single crochet. Remember to mark your first stitch of this row. Then we're going to continue on with our repeat, single crochet and decrease. Remember the first 2 stitches, the front loops, drop a loop and complete that. Single crochet, decrease. Continue around until you get to the chain 20 over here, and I'll meet you there. The last 2 stitches before the chain 20 is our decrease. Okay, then we're going to skip over that, so bring it forward, and into the first stitch place your single crochet for your next row. I left my stitch marker in there so I could see it a little bit better, because those curls kind of make it hard to see. There we go. Oops, I hit my camera, sorry about that. Okay, so this first stitch here after the curly is where we want to place it, and then pull it out and it'll twist all by itself. So for the rest of this, we're going to come over here to this side and make another. So let's do a decrease, a single crochet, and a decrease, a single crochet. Okay, so we are about where we want to be, above the arm. Chain 20 and twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You can even hang this in the air and twist it. It'll go a whole lot faster. But I can't really move my camera and do the same thing. Okay, let's see what kind of twist we got here. Yeah, that'll work. And our next stitch will be a decrease. continue the single crochet and the decrease till you get to the end of the row. My battery's low, sorry. So you notice we have 2 stitches left. Let's just place 2 single crochets in those 2 stitches. Okay, now pull up a loop. And let's go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're going to do is place 1 single crochet in each of those 9 stitches that are left. So you can take out your stitch marker, go ahead and just count 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go over our twist. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Believe it or not, this is all the yarn that I have left. I don't need that much. So have yourself a tail about 8 to 10 inches long. Let's finish this off. And then the next thing we're going to do is stuff as much as we can inside this hole. It will all come out, but what it's going to do is it's going to help make none of this stuff get clogged up as we make our twist. So take the hands, if possible, and squeeze it into that hole there. Okay, so this is what we're looking for right here. Oh, are you ready to make the twist? I am. Now you can hate me and you can cuss at me, but once you get that knot in there, you'll be okay. So let's stretch this out a little bit. Take it and fold it. Are you ready? So hold the body down, bring the head over the top, and you see this loop that we've created here? Stuff it up in there. I've already broke a fingernail on doing this one time. Whoops. Here I am hitting the camera now. Here we go. It's going. The arms wanted to come out and say, "Oh, let me try, let me try." It's almost there. A little coaxing. Once you get the head through, it's fine. Okay, let's not forget the arm. There we go. Oh, yes, we did it. Now, before everything gets settled, make sure you put them where you want it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of shaping. And don't forget, we still have to stuff the head. So we can take all this stuff out. But yes, it can be done. It just takes a little coaxing. Now, if you make this again and you say you're going to make it longer, that's up to you. I was just trying to make it so it would fit right. All right. So here we are. Yes, my hands hurt. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is add our eyes. So you want to count down 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and see if that is where you want it. You want to put them in the center. That looks pretty good. Then we're going to take and place our backing on. Now we don't want them to go through just that top pop. We want it to go a little bit further. So I have a safety eye jig. I got this from Shelby, Snowy Aspen Creations. She's on Etsy. I really like her eye jig. So I'm going to take this and stick it in this hole right down here on the bottom. And I'm going to stand up and place my body weight on this. Okay, and you can see we got 2 showing. So it went through the second one, so we're good. Now, we're going to stuff his head, and we're almost done. Isn't he cute? So let's get our stuffing and start stuffing. Now, in the process of stuffing the head, you want it to be a soft stuff. We're not worried about the body here. We just want it to be a soft stuff. If you overstuff it, it could cause it to become imbalanced. So I did shove a lot of stuffing in here. Let's see how it looks here. Yeah, I could probably add some more, which seems like a good idea. Make it so it has its shape. So let's add some more stuffing. Let's see how that does. Yeah. Okay, let's fix our twists. Then we're going to get our needle and we're going to sew it shut. Now, if you choose to use your crochet hook, that's up to you. But I like using my needle to do that. So we're just going to go in and out of the front loop of the last row of stitches. Okay, and then we're going to pull it tight so no more stiff stuffing will come out. I like to tie at least just 1 knot in the back. But I like to finish my ends by going through the middle of these stitches. That'll help hold it in so that it won't work its way out in the future, hopefully. And then in okay, we still have to add his mouth. You can do any style you want. This particular one, I did this double V with the teeth in the middle. I think on this one I'm going to do a little bit different style. So anytime we begin any sort of facial things on the front, You want to come down below to where you want to place your actual mouth in this case, and leave a short tail. The short tail will be for tying a knot. And like I said, I think I'm going to try a different smile on this one. So you come to the end. You can't really leave a long yarn. Okay, so you want what we call tacking it down. So go over, go into the same stitch you just came out of, go over a couple of stitches, and finish it off. So we come over, go in through the same hole. Now we're going to come out through the yarn hole that we started with. It looks kind of cute. And tie a square knot. And then I'm going to use my crochet hook to bury these yarns into the body of the head here. So I came in, went over to where I pulled my yarn in, and just pull everything in. See how it disappears? Oops. You need to take it off the hook before you pull it out, right? And then we're going to go ahead and do our teeth. All monsters seem to have teeth. In fact, I might do something a little crazy on this one here too. You don't want to go in the same hole, so let's come over here. And this is kind of like a baby monster. So I'm just going to add one tooth. I'm going to come over here from another side, go into that same hole where the white stitches came out, and pull it in. And our little monster is done. Remember, in the process of this right here, if you need to tweak it and untwist it, you can do that. So here we go, trying to balance him. And here's his little buddy. So I hope you enjoyed this crochet tutorial, and I hope you come back and see me again for another crochet tutorial. So till next time, bye bye.